this is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Margo Catsimatidis, nay van der Sar. Wow. Margo, congratulations. Women's History Month. You really do make a difference. How are you? And congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm not used to accolades.
Well, you deserve them.
I always like to work behind the scenes and do what God sends me to do and to try to help people and make a difference in their lives. And I've always done that.
Well, you've got a backup, you got a partner in all of this, John Catsimatidis.
Absolutely.
Standing by at the ready if we need him.
I'm only here as a backup.
Right.
Because Margo has been with me for 54 years, 55 years maybe, and she's always been there for me as a backup. So when she was doing this interview with you, Greg, she says, I want you to be there as a backup. She was there 54 years ago. She would pack up the groceries in one of our stores. She would make sure that the cashiers were doing anything out. She's been there for 54 years, and I love her, and I support her, and I'm there for her.
Wow.
So I'm here because she's always been here for me.
Well, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful indeed. Well, I want to go into a couple of things here about your professional accomplishments, but first, van der Sar. I just found that out. That's your maiden name.
That's my stepfather's name, and he raised me.
How
I was about 9.
Prestigious. What is it? Swiss? What is that?
Dutch, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your stepdad.
John.
Pardon?
Talk about my dad.
Your dad?
Van der Sar dad.
Van der Sar, he was a very, very smart man. He lived in the Keys for many years. He did all the, he did a lot of, I guess he had his boats and he took people around. He was a guided tourist.
Yes.
And you know something? He loved Florida. And the first time I went to Florida is when they moved down to Florida in 1980. And he says to me, you have to invest in Naples. And then I didn't listen to him. And then he said, you have to invest in St. Pete. And if I would have listened to her father, whatever money I have now, I would have had 10 times more.
Well, hey, better late than never, because now you got all kinds of investments down
but
there.
John has been so kind that he's erecting a statue of my parents in front of the tallest building on the west coast of Florida in St. Petersburg.
We built the tallest condominium on the west coast of all of Florida.
That's so.
And we're putting a statue of him and Margo's mom right at the front entrance of that iconic tower in St. Petersburg. So they'll be standing there waiting for everybody to come in for the next 100 years that tower is going to be up.
So beautiful. Wow. Remember when in-laws and son-in-laws were at mortal enemies, right? They're back in the 1950s. Now it's just all a beautiful family. All right, Margo, when you meet a young woman, say right out of high school, and let's say maybe she goes to college, maybe she doesn't go to college, what is your advice? What is your advice to young women as they enter either further schooling or academia, as they enter adulthood, I should say?
You have to always believe in yourself. You have to follow your dreams. If you're not quite clear, God gives you a message that you can take the road to the right, the road in the middle, or the road in the left. You have to use your own intuition to follow that road to see if that is meant for you. And at that stage, you're young enough to switch lanes if you want to. But always believe in yourself that you can accomplish anything and learn anything. So never be afraid.
I love the advice for anybody, whether they're young or old. By the way, Were you the youngest person to be asked to join the Bolshoi?
Yes, I was
ballet?
actually 11 and a half years old.
How does that work? How did that happen?
It was pretty cool.
Well, the Bolshoi, those guys are from Russia. They're the best dancers in the world.
Yeah, it's the first time they came to America, and my sister and I were in the audition with 100 other kids, but they chose me and my sister, and I will never forget that performance. I was right in the very front because I was the smallest.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that evening. It was spectacular.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Mikhail Baryshnikov, was he on the scene yet? Was he around?
No,
he
wasn't there yet.
You're from Indiana originally?
Indianapolis, yes.
Indianapolis, Indiana. And you come to the big city and you're in the grocery store, right? Essentially?
Well,
what was the next move?
I was actually dancing and I got a scholarship. I got a contract for a Swiss ballet company, and I said, nope, this doesn't feel right. I'm not doing that because I had a bad knee. I already had 3 surgeries. So I came back, and then I had other health issues, and I had to get a job. And my father, Von der Sar, said, you need to learn something before you leave Indiana just in case you get hurt. So I learned how to type 90 words a minute because my mother could do 120. So, and she worked at a legal department in Bob's Merrill, which was a publishing company, and she was in the legal department. So she, really smart lady. But anyway, so I couldn't wait to come to New York. I wanted to come since I was 12, but I was too young. But I finally came, and I was injured, and I had to get a job, and there was this guy opening up a supermarket around the corner. I was taking care of my sister's son. And I went in, they said, the owner doesn't have a secretary. And I said, sure, I could do that. So I went to his office. It was the summer. I had a corduroy suit and a turtleneck sweater. I had no clothes. I was a dancer. What do you want from me? So I go in and I said, you're the most disorganized person I have ever seen. So I started organizing his office. He didn't even hire me yet. But anyway, and then he said, you got the job. So
it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. You and John are incredibly generous to various philanthropic causes, and in big ways and in small, and in ways that people can see, in ways that people can't see. I guess, look, you guys have been extraordinarily successful, and it's beautiful. What's the best part in being a giver? You guys give a lot. You give people jobs. You give people opportunity. You give people, quite frankly, a safety net. Certainly in the charity world, and you provide all kinds of things. What's the best part of being a philanthropist, I guess, is my question.
When you give a person who has lost all hope, you give them hope, and that you believe in them, and that they too can make a difference in their own lives to help other people. And that is the most gratifying, especially the children and the students. We've given millions of dollars in scholarships to students, and now I'm seeing their grandchildren. Oh, I feel so old. But anyway, I see their grandchildren now, and they said, thank you. Without your help, I would never be where I am today. I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm this. I'm that. And because you believed in me. And that's what life is about. You have to believe in people to give them strength and courage to go on. Even if they don't have it themselves, you have to help them. So in my life, I always help the young, the very young, and the elderly, and I believe in that. And most people in the middle can help themselves, except the students. They need a lot of help.
That's wonderful. Your backup man has something to say.
He does?
I was going to say that one of the things that Margo works very hard at, and she's worked hard at it for over 30 years, is I've been on the board of the Police Athletic League for 40 years. Mr. Morgenthau hired me and trained me in 1984. And Margo has created the holiday party, the Christmas party that we do every year for the kids. And we have 27 centers. And you know something? I work very hard at it. Margo works very hard at it. My daughter Andrea worked very hard at it. And, I look at those kids and I say, I'm from Harlem. I made it. You can make it too. And your father, Ray Kelly, Commissioner Ray Kelly, would stand next to me, and we would look at 100 kids in that corner over there. And I would turn around to your dad and I would say to him, Ray, how many of those kids can we save? if there's 100 kids there, can we save 20? Can we save 30? Can we save 40? And I hope we could save all of them, but if we could save half of them, it's worth working hard.
Wow.
Absolutely.
There you are from Harlem. My dad, Upper West Side, his dad was a milkman. You know what I mean? Not exactly the silver spoon. But so going forward, what is by the way, you've met everybody. You've met everybody in the world. Let me ask you this. Some people are still intimidated to meet a titan or to meet a president or to meet Margo. You don't seem intimidated by anything or anyone. That's my sense. I mean, we all get nervous inside from time to time. You don't convey any of that. But does everybody have something in common? Have you gotten to the part where people are people? And it seems to me it doesn't matter whether it's the Secretary General of the UN or Carlos at the board right over there. You're the same person everywhere I've ever seen you. Is that a fair observation?
That is very fair. When I meet people, as long as they're nice and honest, I look for honesty. I don't look for arrogance. That's one thing I will turn around and walk away. But if you're a real person and you mean what you say, I have no problem with that. And I'm actually shy, believe it or not. But when people show their true humanity, I feel it.
It's beautiful.
So.
And you can't get anything past Margo. She's very in touch. Margo, going forward, you have a vision for the year? You can share it if not, but is there anything you want to take care of this year, perhaps that was left over from last year, or anything that's just nagging at you?
Oh, not nagging. I'm looking forward to taking care of my new grandson coming.
Yep. How was that, John Jr.? What a gift. What's the new boy or girl?
J4,
do we know?
Boy. It's a boy. Coming.
J4.
Due in May. J4.
Well,
due in May.
That's going to be wonderful. You got it all going on, Margo Catsimatidis, and our respect to Mr. Van der Sar up in heaven, and just an amazing story. I'm so glad you walked into that grocery store down the block 54 years ago.
Yeah.
I've seen John's office lately. It seems like it still needs a little bit of work.
No, they're trying.
Is there but there's a system.
Yeah, there is a system. They're trying.
Margo Catsimatidis, thank you. John Catsimatidis, the backup man, thank you both. And congratulations. Margo Catsimatidis is our woman of the millennium, but a special shout out on this March, Women's History Month. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Be right back.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.